Just be patient, learn, practice the right information. There, we're in the zone.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And we get to make the crowd dance. I mean, that's amazing, right? Most of the drum beats has one thing in common. Somewhere, it's either the hi-hat, it's either how you play the hi-hat or how you play the ride, or how you play your kick. There's somewhere in between that becomes a common thing. That's why I think it's good to study lots of grooves as much as possible. The first part, what I did there is what we call a skank beat. So it's basically imagining like an angry polka, but more aggressive. Now, that's what we call a skank beat. So how do I play it? So if you want to play this kind of style, usually you start with this one first. Or you start with a hi-hat. So once you get that down, all you have to do is speed it up a little bit. Usually, for a skank beat would be maybe around 200 beats per minute. Depends, but let me show you again. Angry polka. So now, that's a skank beat, metal skank beat. Let me show you the full thing. And then what we did earlier on, we were doing a fast swing. I think I kind of lost in the middle there somewhere, but remember the polka? Now, 2 and 4. 1, 2, 1. So you see something happened there. So since we're talking about switching, again. So as you can see, we tried switching from skank beat to a fast swing, and there's one thing in common, is my right hand is constantly playing 8 notes on the right. The only thing I change a little bit on the right hand is usually when you play fast swing is this one. There's some skip beats in between. But actually, yeah, the common thing about that is my right hand is still the same. So there's like 4 grooves now. Understanding of the styles of drum beats. Most of the drum beats has one thing in common. Somewhere, it's either the hi-hat, it's either how you play the hi-hat or how you play the ride, you know, or how you play your kick. There's somewhere in between that becomes a common thing. That's why I think it's good to study lots of grooves as much as possible, so you can really understand like this instrument. I mean, I haven't, probably I'm only 2/10 of what I'm learning in this drum kit. There's more to learn from this, you know, instrument. Probably for like Jess says, as long as you know the music that you're playing, as long as you like the music, I don't think there'll be any difficulty in switching. I mean, in the later years, if you still continue playing music, you know, and most importantly, have fun. You know, you don't have to, you know, you can still play. You don't have to be, it's up to you. You can either be a full-time musician, or you can be a person with another job and then still play music. I mean, it really depends on you, but the most important thing is you gotta enjoy playing music. You must have the love for it. And I would say don't be afraid to take some risks and mistakes, because once you overcome that obstacle, it will actually make you more confident. As long as you know as long as you can correct them. You know, you make mistakes, of course. You can just go back to it and see, okay, maybe I need to work on my time. Maybe I need to work on probably my endurance. When you're practicing, don't be afraid to try things. You know, try to take risk when you're practicing. So just try stuff and see if you can. You know, what can you say about that, Jess?
It's also good as a secondary thing to understand what other instruments are doing within the music. It will just make you more wider in understanding where you're going while you're playing, because you could pick up probably the piano line and you could kind of go unison with it with your drums, and it's just a better feel, you know, for you to understand a different approach of, you know, the music that you're playing, like chordal instruments, for instance, or guitar or something like that, just for you to understand what they're doing so that you will complement to what they're doing instead of just doing your own thing, you know?
And also, I would recommend a book if you want to learn grooves. I highly recommend you get Tommy Igoe's Groove Essentials 1 and 2. And of course, get Hands of a Lifetime, if you can. Because really, I mean, that book also opened my eyes to many things. And for the switching part, the shifting gears, of course, you're not gonna do that in a gig. But what we're just trying to say is, you know, you can kind of change the dynamics. You know, it's just to illustrate to you that it's not that difficult to switch. Really, it's just presence of mind. And yeah, even for me, I have to remind myself at times that, you know, stop thinking, just play. And yeah, thanks to Jazz and my other peers, they always guide me to the right path. So, thank you.
How long did you, the group, how long did you play with them?
Basically, I met the brothers and Jazz. We met each other in the bar that I used to work. It's called Swindlers.
Oh.
And usually there's, I would host like a Sunday night jam. And that's where I met the guys. And for a long time, you know, I started just jamming and then just hanging out. We hang out after work. Sometimes I would go to their working place, or sometimes they go to my working place. So that went for a while.
Yes.
And then just, you know, just jam a little bit here and there. Mostly I would jam like maybe funk music, funky stuff. And then sooner or later, I remember I was telling Bernard and this, like, one day I want to really play some swing. Because at that time, my swing was kind of all over the place. I don't know how to play.
Yeah.
You know, the timing was really bad. But and now it's like, looking a couple years back, I never realized that I would play with them. And it's amazing because I started from not knowing what to do, and you know, with practice and patience, at some point you basically get what you want. But for me, it's like I'm only, like I said, I'm only at the introduction of playing swing. There's more. There's more to than just playing ting 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 ting. You know, there's more to that.
Yeah.
So I also recommend, if you really want to be more open to music, I suggest learn how to play, get piano lessons. You know, it really helped me to understand not just jazz, but any kind of music. It helps me to understand, like, okay, so this is what the piano player is doing. This is what the guitar player is doing.
Yeah.
This is what the bass player is doing. So now I'm understanding everyone's role. Ever since I try to get that piano lesson, and what benefit I can get from learning piano, you get to read chords, you get to learn chords. So that let's say one day you did a session and somebody gave you a chart. Probably, let's say you had like maybe a couple of piano lessons, and then at some point you see like a G minor 7. You know, or you see like a C major, and of course, because of the piano lessons, it helps you to understand what's going on in the chart. For basic, for basic, and it's that basic foundation is super important, and it really helped me out to understand what my role is, rather than just a drummer.
Yeah.
You know, and I also I learned to take a lot of constructive criticisms. Sometimes, it's painful, but if you want to learn, you're basically not losing anything.
Yeah.
You're gaining from it. Still to this day, I'm still learning. It's always endless, you know. And sometimes the constructive criticism is gonna pop up somewhere here and there, but that's all right, you know, because probably you learn something from it. Jess, what can you say about like constructive criticisms and all that stuff, the learning process and
You have to keep an open mind. Criticism, it would really come out what you think, you know, it would come out as constructive if you think that it's constructive. If you think about it as like a destructive thing or a gossip kind of thing, then you will not get anything from it. It's just how you think about it. Like if somebody says, "Oh, your time sucks," you know, like people would say those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
Then if you think about, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's not a drummer," or, you know, instead of taking it and saying, "Oh, maybe I should work on my tempo. Maybe I'm rushing or I'm drugging," you know, you never know, right? So, like in my case, I could only say for myself, right? I would always take every criticism as a learning tool to improve myself.
Yeah.
And coming back from your question, it kind of went far from there, you know, like it's like an improv, but we're coming back to the form anyway. So I met them in Swindlers, and we just started jamming, and that took a while, like a long while. I remember my first gig with the Carpio brothers. Oh my goodness. It's like I can see Chris's face he was so frustrated because I couldn't keep time. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. Okay, well, I think I need to practice.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, no hard feelings for my part. There's no hard feelings for that because it is what it is. Like, you want to play music, you know, you gotta also practice. You gotta make some time and then, you know, learn. Just learn, be patient, and I always believe, just be patient, learn, practice the right information, and you know, sooner or later, your time will come to, you know, to play those gigs. But that's how I learned playing from them, and then, you know, we pretty much like to listen to some of the music. Like we have something in common. Like, you know, we love Chicoria. Jess loves so many things.
Yeah.
He loves so many artists. But at some point we get across with what we like. You know, Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on. So many, so many artists. But anyway, and not only that, not just playing, but we not only just playing in a band, but we're also friends and we respect each other. That's the fun part because we know. We know each individual. We know ourselves. We know, you know, who we're playing with.
Yes.
And it's like a team, you know. It's always a team effort. You know, no one is like, everybody's on the same level. You know, same level, and then all of a sudden someone will give something new, like just a new idea, and then probably everybody would just try to follow the idea and see where it goes.
Yeah.
But that's what I learned from these guys.
Yeah.
So,
your group is very amazing. I saw two of the live streaming in Facebook. Can you share a little bit about how the groove of your group, how it from beginning to now is?
Mostly, as you can see in the live stream, a lot is backbeats.
Yeah.
A lot like funk backbeats, and then a little bit of there's some Afro-Cuban stuff there, or some Latin jazz. pretty much varieties, but we tend to just, like to play like some like funky stuff.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of swing. And then I would sing sometimes.
Yeah.
Before this was like a few years back. We call ourselves Carpio Brothers Quintet. Because we have 2 drummers in the band. That's
two drummers.
Me and Fish. So they decided, okay, so what else can I do? Because I'm a drummer and Fish is a drummer.
Yes.
And I said, okay. They asked me, why don't you sing? So I tried singing, and they put me on the spot. It was really fascinating because I get to sing in front of a crowd in Publica Jazz.
Big following.
Publica Jazz
People are going crazy with
Is it Malaysia? Kuala Lumpur. Yeah.
People are just going crazy with it, especially women.
In Malaysia.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like a couple of shows like Publica Jazz and then a really amazing venue, Brown Sugar. That was
Brown Sugar in Thailand?
Was it Brown Sugar or what's
Brown Sugar is in
Thailand? No. No black tie.
No black tie.
Let me rephrase. No black tie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Publica Jazz and no black tie. Those were amazing shows, and I get to do front vocals, and then I think at the last part of the gig in No Black Tie, I played drums, one song.
Wow.
With a featured solo. I think we played Caravan, right?
Yeah.
It was fun.
He couldn't really like stop himself, so he's like, Fish. And Fish is like, yeah, sure.
For some reason, there's some I cannot explain, but it was just there.
Yeah.
And if we try to hold it back, I mean, that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
So it's not too much, but it's there. We were having this good vibe.
Yeah.
Chris, Bernard,
cooking that night.
Jazz, we were there. We were in the zone.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And we get to make the crowd dance. I mean, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And what I really appreciate from this group is because I learn a lot from all of them, especially when Fish was playing drums.
Yeah.
Anytime that he's here in Hong Kong, or if there's any chance that he could play a gig with us, it's fun to see another drummer play.
Yeah.
And like for me, like that's joy.
Yeah.
Because Fish his
groove is
he's amazing too.
Amazing. Yeah.
He has his own voice. Check him out. He's a really good drummer. Fish Wong.
Yeah. One of the best drummer
in Taiwan.
Yeah, and always he plays in Hong Kong.
Like if you're changing your kick drum pattern, then as a bass player, I'd be like, where are you? So I would be like, start. The drummer would hate you real bad.